Well, hello everyone. This is our last lecture for the mod. Can you believe how fast time has flown? It's pretty crazy, but right now you guys are frantically trying to get everything turned in. So I want to make this lecture as beneficial to you as possible. So let's talk about one of the most important things. Our learning coach has sent me her updated schedule with times and contact information for when she's available in the lab. So please contact Ms. Seaport if you need any assistance at all or any feedback on your logos and on your assignment presentation, okay? Please take advantage of her. I'll be posting this in the announcement section of the course homepage, and I'll hopefully, yeah, I'll put it in the announcement section. That way everyone gets a notification that it's there. But it doesn't look like she's had too many time changes, so please just be aware she is available Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday especially because that's the deadline day. Her cutoff though is 1 p.m., so she won't be available. But if you can't get a hold of her, or if you don't get any time to see her, please see any other tutor in the tutoring lab. They are open, especially on Saturdays, because that is deadline day. So this is the last week for our final assignment, the opportunity for our final assignment. It's also the last opportunity that you guys will have to turn in any week 3 late work. Please take advantage of the week 3 assessment. It's a pass or fail grade. You either do it or you don't. There's no partial credit, but it's an easy way to make 50 points. So please get that turned in. I guess if it's late, you'll have, let's see, the most you can make is 40 points on it. But still, that will definitely cushion your grade if you can. And all it requires is you meeting with a tutor of someone, or an AD, or some professional graphic designer to give you some feedback. And they'll email me and let me know that you've gone to visit them, so you don't need to turn anything in. But I just wanted to let you know that this opportunity is available, and it still is. I'm not accepting any discussions, any late discussions, week 1, week 2, or week 3, simply because that's just how I take attendance in class. So if you weren't present, there's no way to make that up. But you can do extra daily checkpoints to make up those points within a week. So if you do more than 4 in a week, the others are extra credits. So again, that's another way to make up some points. Okay, so it looks like no one else is in, so I won't. Well, I'll go ahead and put the question out there. How was week 4 work going? How's the final going? I've received some emails from some students asking some really, really great questions, and so today I'm going to address those questions. I'm going to jump right into the design portion of our class, and then towards the last half I'll go over our PowerPoint slides and our learning the principles. Today I was going to talk to you about how to set up an online portfolio. If you don't already have one, now is the time to get one set up. You're in these advanced classes now, which means you're gearing up for graduation, and you're getting close to it. And it's really important that as you start looking for internships and other job opportunities in the industry, that you have a really strong portfolio. And gone are the days where you actually need a hard copy portfolio. Nowadays, you just need something online, a website, a website you can give a link to, a site where you can post all of your work. So I'll talk to you about how to set one up. They're super user-friendly, and you guys are probably going to be able to set one up pretty quickly if you don't already have one. I'll talk to you about that a little bit more in detail later, but let's jump right in to the design portion of class. We'll go ahead and get my Illustrator up here. I had a student email me just minutes ago asking about how the setup is supposed to be for the document. So let me talk to you about that, because I don't think we've put that in I don't think we've kind of talked about that at all, how we're supposed to set this up. So it looks like we're going to have 9 artboards total, okay? So make sure you get that. Hey, Lisa, thanks for coming. It's great to have you as always. You've always been so consistent. We're just about to dive into the design portion of class. We're going to do things backwards today. We're going to get some questions answered. We're going to try to get this document set up for our final, okay? So if you work alongside with me, you will be able to get this final pretty much set up and ready to go, get ready to turn in, okay? Do you have any questions? They said I'll take advantage of the time since you're here. Would you like to go over anything specific? Would you like any feedback on something specific? Any questions about the final? Sure, absolutely. Why don't you share your screen and we can review it. Since you're in class, you get first priority. So go ahead and pull up your assignment if you want, or if you need another minute to pull it up, I can go ahead and talk about how we're going to set this document up. She's ready to go. Okay. Well, I'm loving it already. Look at this. Good job. Lisa, this is excellent. So let me talk about a little bit of what Lisa did. She took everything that I talked about yesterday and she applied it. And so I think that you get a round of applause, Lisa. This looks beautiful. Let me talk about the things that I do love about this. Not only did Lisa go the extra mile and create some banners to label the services that her company offers, but she strategically placed her logo nice and large, visible to see. She has contact information. That's super important. And then I'm loving this icon here that she used from her logo. So it's her symbol. And she's using that in the profile page. So I think that this top left is beautiful. There's nothing I would change on the layout, except I would just make sure that your picture on the left lines up with the background. It looks like it's kind of over a little bit. You might want to line that up. Do you see what make sure your pictures line up with the edge of the artboard. Yeah, see that space? We probably don't want a gap in space because it's not even on the other side. So we probably either want to, if you want that white space on the side, make it even, or just bring it all the way to the edge. Yeah, exactly, just like that. And same with that one. So I would say just make sure your photos look even. I'd even bring in your top left photo. Lisa, I'm going to just get a little nitpicky here. We're fine tuning it now. It's beautiful. Top left photo. Top left photo, yeah. If you bring in the edge on the right side, it looks like it's overlapping that middle photo a little bit. So can you bring it in and line it up with the wood panel? You line it up there, yeah, just like that. Perfect. And then that gives you a little bit more room to make that photo a little bigger. Excellent, excellent. And then just make sure your banners line up as well. No complaints about your designs. Absolutely wonderful. I would just I'd add a period at the end of a cut above the rest, that headline there on top right. Just add you want some punctuation. That looks good. Your icon looks good. I would just make sure there's even amount of space. See, I might have this set up a little differently. We'll talk about the icon in just a minute. But do you see how the space between the edge of the artboard and your icon on the top left is different than the space on the others? Do you see how the spacing is different? So just make it even, okay? So if you're going to have some white space there, just make it even. Well, you don't have to bring it all the way over, but just make sure there's even amount of space. So if you're going to have an inch of white space on that side, make sure they all have the same amount. Does that make sense? Yeah, excellent. Good. So yeah, that's probably the only fine tuning I would do. I think you did a great job for the one on the bottom right. As far as the artboard, your Facebook cover, bottom right. I think it's wonderful. I think it's just missing something. Maybe some contact, or maybe a phrase. You probably need a phrase, or maybe your logo somewhere. It just needs something. Okay, that's probably would be my only suggestion. But I think it's beautifully done. I think you did a great job following instructions yesterday. So excellent work. Do you have any other specific questions? So I would just make sure that there's an even amount of space between the edge of your Facebook cover and your icon. And other than that, I think you did a great job. So I would say, well done, well done. Okay, well, I am very proud of you. Great job. I think we can all learn from Lisa here. Let me show you something, Lisa, and everyone else watching from home. I had a student ask, it's a great question, how to set this document up. So Okay, so Lisa says her only concern is turning this logo sideways. Sorry, do you want to share your screen again? Share your screen. I'm sorry, I ended the screen share prematurely. You want to turn it sideways? Here, let me turn your mic on. 1 second. It might be easier to, hang on 1 sec. Okay, your mic is on.
We have to do vertical and horizontal. That's what I was.
Yes, I'll talk to you about what that means today. That's a great question. We're to go over vertical and horizontal today. Let me jump into that. Let me address your question. So I'll go ahead and mute the microphone. There's just so much feedback that comes through. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute it. Excellent question. Let me show you guys what I mean by horizontal and vertical, okay? We haven't gone over that today. To set up your new documents, we're gonna do this from scratch. So I'm designing my final project. I'm gonna name it final project. We need to think about, we need a horizontal layout for our logo, a vertical layout for our logo. We need black and white, we need color. We need, so I think with all the instructions and the things that we need, I think we've calculated it to be 9 boards, 9 art boards. So go ahead and let's do 9 art boards. So we need your logo horizontal, 2 boards. We need 1 in color, 1 in black and white. So let's see, 1, 2. You know what? I don't think we need 9. I think we need 7. Let's try 7. Let's do 7. Okay, so I've got 7 artboards. Let me show you what we're going to do here. First one, let me get this font so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, Facebook cover 1, Facebook cover 2, Facebook cover 3, Facebook cover 4. Just like this. So we have 2, 3, and 4. All right, next we're going to need to adjust. We need a business card layout. So to do that, I'm going to bring this in. Let's see. Let's okay, so for this one, for the width, we're going to do 3.5 inches by 2 inches. I don't know if that's right. 3.5 inches by 2 inches. Okay, so this is going to be our billboard. So, or I'm sorry, our business card. And you need a front, and you're going to need a back. Okay. To adjust the size on an artboard, you just simply go make sure it's highlighted, and then you go up here to width and height, and you're going to want a 3.5 by 2 inch business card. Okay, so these are going to be our business cards. And then we are going to need a, let's see, a artboard for our horizontal layout, our vertical layout, our black and white layout, so maybe we needed more than what I had. So I guess it is 9. Okay. So So we have our Facebook cover, business card front. This is our business card back. This is going to be, let's see, this is our horizontal logo. Vertical logo, and this is vertical logo color, horizontal logo color. Okay, so this is how we're going to be laying out the assignment. Horizontal logo black and white. Vertical logo black and white. Let's see if I've missed anything. So black, white, color. Facebook icon with on 4 covers. Okay, so yes, so this looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 artboards. So I was a little off. 10 artboards, including our business card. Okay, let's see. We could even do. I'll give you the option if you don't want to place your profile icon over. Let me go to the example I had the other day. So if you're putting your Facebook icon over your profile cover, when you convert it to PDF, it gets cut off, and that can look kind of silly. So what I would probably have you do is take the Facebook icon. You can either choose to move it up onto the Facebook cover, like this, because if it hangs off of the artboard, it will get cut off as a PDF. I didn't think about that when I was going over things yesterday. What you need to do, though, is make sure you have an even amount of space on the left of your icon as you do on the bottom of your icon, okay? It needs to have plenty of space. So I will allow you to place it on top of your cover if you'd like, or you can do this. Let me go back to or you can add an 11th artboard where you just have your icon, okay? I am going to be checking the size of your icon. So if you click on it, it does need to be 180 by 180, like that. It does need to be true to size. So you only need one icon, and I will assume it will go on all 4 of these, obviously. So probably 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. So you'd have 11 artboards totaling, or 10 artboards if you choose to put your profile on the cover. Okay, I will give you your choice, but I do need it to be the right size. And the way that you check the size or get the right size is if you click on your artboard, the artboard tool, make sure it's highlighted. And if you select it, whoops, did not want to do that. You select it and then go up here to the top where it says WH, that's width and height. You can just enter in 180 pixels by 180 pixels. Now, if you're designing business cards, let me zoom in here. You're designing business cards that are going to be very small. You can zoom in just like this. Okay, and to make sure they're the right size, you need to have it in inches. But if your width and height is only displaying in pixels, what you need to do is type in inches next to the value. So 3.5 inches tab over to 2 inches high. Notice how I'm typing in inches, IN, and it will make it that size. It'll convert it to that size. Okay, so does this clear up any concerns about how the document should be set up? Okay, so let's start with a logo. We'll do this from scratch, okay? I will move some of my boxes out of the way. This is what it should look like, okay? This is your Facebook icon right here. It can go on the left. You can have the rest of your artboards. So let's get a logo. Grab your logo, and I'll give you a minute, Lisa. Do you need a few minutes to set up your document? You can keep the Facebook cover file already since you've already designed in it. Just just copy over a few more artboards within that document. So they're all in the same document. That's what's kind of nice about Illustrator is you can copy them over. Okay, you're good, you're ready to go? Okay, so let me get a logo. We'll just stick with the Affordable Lawn Care logo because that seems to be the one that, that I like. Let me stick with this one. Okay, so let me go to the final project. Let's start with the horizontal logo color. Now, as you guys have been doing your research on logos, you know that a horizontal logo is one that reads from left to right, right? This is a horizontal logo because it's in a horizontal design. Left to right, it's more elongated than it is, it's more short than it is tall, or wide than it is tall. So this is my logo, okay? And I'm gonna, let's grab this one. Oops. All right. Shrink it there. There, I'm just fine tuning my logo. I'm gonna grab a line to kind of divide it. Oh wait, this wasn't the one I did yesterday, huh? The one I did yesterday was this one. Okay. I was gonna say that looks different than what I had going on. Here's the one I used. Okay, so here is my logo. It's still horizontal layout. All right. Now, if I want to do a horizontal black and white, copy this over, hold down Alt Option, because you don't need to change the layout of the logo. You just need to change it from black and white. So I'm going to grab this, change it to black. This is going to be black. I'm just adjusting my fill. Make sure the divider line that I've got there. And oh, and you make sure that your text is, go to Type, Create Outlines to make sure that your text is completely ready to go. You want it to be in vector format. Okay, so there's my black and white version of my color logo. So I've got my horizontal color, my black and white horizontal. Let's do vertical. So the vertical layout will require some restructuring on your part. Sometimes it could just, and we want it to be taller than it is wide. And sometimes it's just a matter of repositioning your icon. Type create outlines. Don't forget to do that on this one. Type create outlines. Okay, so I'm going to expand this. I'm going to make sure I have even amount of space on my left side as I do my right side. I'm going to grab my icon. Just need to find a good placement for it. There we go. So that's going to be my vertical layout. Looks better over the R&D. Like that. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so then I want to kind of expand this to be as big as possible. I could choose to put it down here. Oh no, that wouldn't be vertical though. I want it to be taller than it is. Taller than it is wide. That's what vertical is. Again, I'll probably have to play with placement on this guy, but try to get it lined up. I'm a stickler for lining things up, so. There we go. Okay, so there's my logo. All right, now it's vertical. I have even amount of space on my left side as I do my right side. I'm going to copy it over and convert it to black and white. Hold down Alt Option, click and drag. And then here's where I just turn everything to black and white. There we go. So it's the same logo, but I've created a vertical and a horizontal layout. So does that make sense in regards to how we're supposed to do that? So you've got a color and a black and white, very simple, not a whole lot of work. It is just an extra couple artboards that you'll have to create. So now that I have my logo created, now this is where I can create my Facebook covers. And lucky for us, I've already done that yesterday. So I'll grab 2 of my covers. I'll just copy them over. This one here. Zoom in. All right, perfect. And then we talked about the icon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the icon on there. I'm just going to raise it. I'm going to click on my square, my profile square, to make sure it's the correct size. It needs to be 180 by 180. Oops. And that's pixels. So perhaps it might be best if we just, I don't know, I'll let you decide what you want to do. I'm not picky about that. I just want to make sure you get the concept, that you understand what's the cover and what's the icon. Just like that. So you could either do it this way with this here on the left, just where you just have your different icons. If you want to change it up, you can only, if you just want one icon for all 4, and that's totally fine. Or you can just show me that these were your icon options. and that this is your ad, your billboard ad. So I'll let you decide how you want to structure it. Oops, go ahead and save it. Let's do the other one. Lisa says that's simple. I'm glad you think so. It's a lot of steps, I realize, but hopefully if you have enough time, give yourself enough time, you'll be able to get them done. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete these because I know where it's going to be placed. I'll just leave that space there. Got my logo placed. I'm using my horizontal for this one. And oops, I keep hitting save. And then obviously your two other designs if you want to go that route. Now we need a business card layout. So we've got, I'll zoom out so you can see what it looks like. We've got our vertical, horizontal, black and white versions, our two other Facebook covers, and then our business cards. So I'm going to zoom in. You're going to need to zoom in quite a bit if you do it this way. Just remember, make sure it's the correct size. Just going to delete these. Okay, so let's talk about business cards for a minute. There's a lot of different kinds, styles that you can do. This one is a simple black and white one. I prefer no black and white just because, well, you can do whatever you want, but I just stylistically, I want to keep it simple. So you can do something this complex or you can do something very simple. I like something like this. It's pretty straightforward, kind of no fuss layout. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this. Well, actually, I'll just draw an additional artboard. I'm going to duplicate the artboard by holding down Alt Option. Okay. So for this one, we're going to do something very simple. I'm going to take my logo. Let's go grab my logo. And back here, I'm going to take off the black and white because I do not like that. I'm going to give this text, actually, I'm going to replace this logo with mine. So this is just your standard 3.5 by 2 inch artboard. I'm going to grab my icon here. Put it there. You can find some nice text. Oops. And in place of profession, you could put your business title. I'm just going to grab the colors that are in my logo. All right, and then my contact information is here at the bottom. What I'm going to do is grab my type tool. Click and drag. With my layout, you want to give yourself plenty of room at the bottom. You see that red line? That's usually the cut line, so I'm going to move this up, over. You want even amount of space on all sides. Whoa, whoa. Sorry, what did I push? Okay, I'm gonna make my font quite a bit smaller. And for my font, I'm going to stick with a sans serif font. I'll do Helvetica regular. I'm going to need even smaller font. Okay. I'm just adding some contact information. I want all of this on the same line, so I'm going to go I think I'm going to go about 7 font on the contact info. Maybe 6.5. Okay. And I'm going to bold my my phone, the labels phone, cell phone, address. What's the other one? Email. Okay, we'll bold email. I'm going to change the case to be title case and bold web. Remember, this is just simple formatting that we're doing so things stand out. I'm going to adjust my leading so there's some space. I'll move it down so it's even. Even with the bottom of my line, I want everything to meet. See that smart guide? Turns on as soon as it lines up the way it's supposed to, right there. Okay, so that's the back of my card. Now what I'm going to do is the front card, and the front is super easy to do. I think the easiest part is, the reason why it's so easy is because you have a few options. You're going to need the logo. So what you can do is either make the logo very big on the front, okay. It's thinking, so give it just a moment. Okay, so, and then there's the back of my card. So pretty easy, right? Not a whole lot. Just like that. Or you can choose to do something cool. Well, I'll show you a different business card layout. So once you have your business card layout, now you just copy it over. Oops. We're having some issues. My Illustrator is not liking Zoom today. Now I'm going to go to my final project where I have my final piece. I'm just going to lay this out. I want even amount of space on the top and on the bottom, on the left and on the right. Okay, and then I'm going to go grab, let's see, this one. You go grab this side. Lisa, do you have your business cards designed? And this one is just simply my logo on the back. Now I could choose to do something else. Like I could take this logo and one thing a day. You're so smart to do that. And I could kind of use it as like a watermark. Just kind of expand it. And then I'm going to go change the opacity. So it's really, really light. And I'm going to bring this to the front. Grab this. And then I'll create a clipping mask. So anytime that you have artwork or graphics or images or even text that overlaps the artboard and you want to be able to clip it, you just draw a rectangle with no fill and no stroke. Make sure it's on the front layer. Highlight everything that you want to contain and click clipping mask. And now you won't be able to see those pieces. So you could do something like that, where it's just kind of a watermark. I'm going to think of it, this looks more like a hand than it does grass, but oh well. Bring it off to the side. I might rotate it. I'm going to ungroup it. Probably going to delete that part because it was kind of getting in the way. I'm going to do a transparency on it. You can still see it. I'm going to move this in right here. You liked it darker? The only thing that you have to be careful with making it darker is that you don't want it to, you want to still be able to read the font. My clipping mask over. So Lisa liked it darker, so we'll make it a little darker like that. So there's my business card. Pretty simple. Not a whole lot to it. It's just a simple layout. So I've got my business cards, I've got my Facebook covers, and my logo design. So this is a pretty simple, let me zoom all the way out so you can see. Just like this. So you could choose to put your icon on the cover, or you can have it here on the side. Either way, you'll just create a multi-page PDF. So let me show you how that's done. Once you have all of your files ready to go, you'll save it, and then go to File, Export. Yeah, I do too. I agree, Lisa. She thinks it looks better by itself, just having the icon off to the side. Okay, so File, Export, give it a name, save it to the desktop, and then you'll go here to PDF. Let's see. Oh, you know what? It doesn't offer PDF under the export. File, Save As, that should work. And then click on Adobe PDF. You want all the artboards selected because you want every single one, and you'll hit Save. So it'll convert this for you. It'll ask, well, do you want to preserve editing capabilities? I'm going to say no. I just need a press quality. It could be high quality. And then save PDF. And then it's going to do its converting thing. You can see it's saving. And I'll show you what it looks like in just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share. Actually, let me go find it real quick on my desktop. Got a million things open. Let me see if I can find it, and then I'll share it with you guys. It would help if my desktop was cleaned off. That would probably be, there it is, okay. Share screen. So I'll show you what the PDF looks like. So once you've uploaded the PDF, always look at your PDF. You want to get in the habit of doing that because you might notice some things on the PDF that you didn't notice when you were designing. Okay, here's our thumbnails. So it shows you what it looks like. This is where you get to check for formatting. Make sure your pictures are lying flush with lines. You want to make sure that everything lines up very well. Looks like some of my labels are off, so I'm going to have to move that over. It's like this one's overlapping this picture a little bit. So again, we just want to make sure everything is nice and tidy. We're cleaning up house here. Here's my other Facebook cover. There's my logo and color that's horizontal. There's, we didn't design these. Facebook cover 3 and 4. Here's my vertical logo. And in color. Here's my business card front, business card back. Here's my vertical black and white and my horizontal black and white. So as you can see, it didn't include my icons. I'd have to draw separate artboards for that. But as you can see, you can make sure that you've got everything in there, okay? So I want you to take a minute and just try to save it as a PDF. Make sure that you can go through all those steps. Lisa, is it pretty clear to you what you need to do? Okay. Any questions of what you're going to be graded on? So here's the horizontal black and white, vertical black and white. Back of my business card, front of my business card. Vertical color, Facebook cover 4, Facebook cover 3, horizontal color, logo, and then my other 2 Facebook covers. Okay, so you should have about 10 artboards total if you put the profile icon on top of your Facebook covers. If you don't, you'll need to have 1 or 2 extra artboards for that. You can have just one Facebook icon or Facebook profile icon and use that for all 4. That's totally fine. You are just required to create 4 different Facebook covers. So I wouldn't spend too much time on the icon. All right. So I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and take our 10-minute break here. When we come back though, we will we'll go over any other questions that you might have. If you guys want to see some more design, I'll show you a few more examples of how to set this assignment up, and then we'll go into how to set up an online profile for class. All right, we'll see you guys in 10 minutes. Okay, so here we are, the last half of class. Today we're going to be talking about the elements of a web portfolio. And I want to go in depth with what the final, well, I guess I already went in depth with what the final project will require, but I kind of want to go in depth about web portfolios for a second because this final project will pretty much arm you with a good 10 examples of design that you can do. Not only can you create different versions of logos, but you've created Facebook covers, you're creating a brand, business cards. These are layouts that you can show off in your portfolio. So not only is the final project important because you want to get a good grade, it's also important because you have a whole slew of different design variations that you can show off and show potential employers what you are capable of. So we'll talk a little bit about this, and I want to talk about effective web portfolios as well as other useful tips for creating a really impressive online portfolio. I just said earlier in class that gone are the days of the hard copy portfolios. I mean, while it's good to have one, it's almost nowadays, it's almost a requirement in the graphic design industry to provide a link to your online portfolio before they even entertain your application. So we'll also put into practice what we learned through the design application exercises. I'll give you some time to be able to go and peruse these websites and take a look at what is required. Okay, first thing is first, what makes for a good personal portfolio website? Well, you may have a personal portfolio website. I have a few. I use carbonmade.com. Mine's a little outdated though. I should make time for myself to go back and update my personal profile. But you want a portfolio website for a number of reasons. If you're a freelancer or if you plan on freelancing, I don't know what many of you are planning on doing once you graduate in this, especially from this class where you plan on taking the graphic design interest. But if you want to be a freelancer, then you need to showcase your work and allow people to contact you. This is a must. If you're a student or if you're unemployed looking for work in the graphic design industry, then you probably need one to show a prospective employer how good you are and what you can do so that they can hire you or they'll want to hire you when it's all over. Now, if you're part of a studio, then you might want to use an online portfolio to blog about your design life. You probably want to show people what you're doing and build your online presence. A personal profile website is all about promoting you. And that's why it's so important. It not only showcases what you're capable of, your design work, the quality of your presentation, but it also talks about you, your personality. Believe it or not, your personality comes through your designs quite a bit. And an employer can tell a lot about a person. Now, no one's going to know about your brand unless you get it out there. And yes, you personally are a brand. So you're trying to brand yourself. And if you're a web designer or a developer or a writer, gamer, or any other type of creative person, then it's essential that you have a good portfolio website. So depending on where you want to take these graphic design classes or where you want to take things after you graduate, even if it's for personal reasons, if you just want to pursue a hobby, not necessarily for work, I think it's important to have an online portfolio to be able to showcase what you're doing or journal or blog about what, just basically record your progress. So let's talk about the first important thing. It's the logo. You're going to need a logo, a personal logo. If you haven't created a personal logo yet, now is the time to do it. It's not for an assignment, but believe it or not, you're going to need one. So you've had all this logo practice in class doing a logo for clients who don't exist. So now it's time to work on a logo for you. And I had one student that showed me a logo that they designed, that their own personal logo, a concept they came up with, and I thought it was just really cool. They were already thinking along those lines. So your logo is usually the first thing that a user is going to see. In the Western world, we read from left to right, top to bottom. So this all makes sense to put your logo in the top left of your website. We're talking about placement here. And this is because users can immediately identify with who owns the website. Their eye will gravitate automatically to the left-hand side of the screen or top left-hand side. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be your name, but if you're trying to promote yourself online, then it's probably a good idea to go by your name. So use your name, don't initial. If your name is Jason Reed, don't initial JR, unless you go by JR. But it's probably important to have your whole name or the whole name of your company. And always link your logo to your homepage. It's a common convention that users expect online, so you want to stick with what's user-friendly, what's familiar. It doesn't, well, and in this example, Jason Reed uses a signature style logo of his name, so it adds more of a personal touch, so to speak. Well, let's talk about the tagline. This is another important piece of the puzzle. Once the users see who owns the website, they'll want to know what it is that you do. This is where you can explain what you do with a tagline. Now, your tagline should be short and snappy. It should summarize what you do in fewer words as possible. Things to ask yourself when you're writing your tagline to kind of help you develop one is, what are you? Are you a designer? Are you a writer, a developer? What are you? What's your profession? And then what do? Design websites, develop games, and then where do you come from? Is it your country or your city? Are you a freelancer or do you work for a studio? And are you looking for work? So these are just common questions that you might want to ask yourself to help you come up with something pretty short and snappy. So in this one, let's see, this person makes it clear that they put together videos and is really good at it. So they say that's, I love to edit video. That was their motto. That's right, I love to put together totally awesome videos. I'm technically proficient, easy to work with, and I don't stop until it's perfect. So what are you waiting for? So they kind of lead you in a little bit. This portfolio, I want to talk about, this is a personal portfolio website after all. So you really want your portfolio to determine whether the website is interesting to you or not. There are a whole slew of free online portfolio websites out there that you can pick and choose from. People will want to see your previous work, so be sure to save all of your work from classes because they want to decide whether or not you're good or not for the general interest, to see what you've been up to in the past, how your work has progressed. Depending on what you do, your portfolio should contain big, high-quality images. Don't put the low-res versions up. Try to get as high-res as possible. You don't want anything blurry. Another thing that you want to do is always include a link to the live version of the website that you worked on and a link to your screenshot to the live version. Another common convention that people will come to expect on a website. Include a short description for each project. You want to include the different skills that you need to complete the project. And let's see, it's never really a bad idea to get a testimonial from a client or from an instructor. Your visitors might also be interested in the stages of development for your projects and how you arrived at the final outcome. So you probably want to focus on these elements. In this example, this designer displays a nice clear screenshot of previous work. Let's see if I can. Anyways, you kind of tell I had to cut the photo off, so I apologize for that. Previous work, and it indicates what software was used during the development. So you want to make sure that you include visuals as much as possible. After all, you're a visual, that's your profession, right? So you want to be able to show off visuals. Plus, it's more interesting for people to look at. Okay, so let's talk about services. What are services? Well, your tagline basically sums up what you do, but you'll want to give into a little bit more detail here about each service that you offer. You can't expect potential clients to guess what you do based on your portfolio. For all they know, you took a picture of it or you recreated it. And so you don't want to leave them wondering whether you offer a particular service or not. They're not going to know. And it's kind of funny when you step out into the everyday world, outside of the design world, a lot of people have zero clue what graphic designers actually do, and why they're so valuable. So it's more of an education process, and it starts with you. It starts with your portfolio. So make it clear. You want to break it down. Web design, development, video, copywriting, branding, etc. This is kind of your this is your resume, so to speak. So you may want to be even more specific. Corporate branding is what I do, or church website design, or flash banner ads, and so on and so on. This designer clearly indicates the services that they offer for both print and web. So they're letting you know very simply what they can do, and that they can do both sides of the spectrum, which is also very attractive. So if you have the opportunity to take any web classes, I really do recommend it. Nowadays, employers are looking to be able to combine the print and the web designer in one. And they're doing that to save money, unfortunately, but also it's kind of where things are going nowadays. You kind of have to have a little bit of both worlds, or at least an understanding of both worlds under your belt. All right, there should always be an About Me section. It's all about you, after all. I want you to let people see the man or the woman behind the mask. Not a lot of people get to know the you, the real you, or behind the website. And so share your background. Where did you come from? How many years you've been in the business? And so on and so on. The thing with the About Me section, this is your opportunity to talk about you and what sets you apart from the rest. Everything else is just simply business and design. And though your personality does shine through your designs, it doesn't tell us where you come from. It doesn't tell us what your interests are. It doesn't tell us what you're passionate about. So try to be as detailed as you can, and talk about and focus on the positive things, obviously. But the more details that you give, the better your users can form a bond, and this builds trust between you and the client. They feel like they're getting to know you a little bit more. You establish that friendship, or that comfortability level goes up a little bit. So if you're not camera shy, show a picture of yourself. This gives potential clients peace of mind, allowing them to see who they're dealing with. They can put a name to the face, or a face with the name, and it adds an element of trust. So you definitely want a picture there. Now, don't be afraid to show off your awards and your recognition. You want people to know that what you're good at, and that you're good at what you do. So show off anything. If you ever had an award or a certificate or something awarded to you, this is definitely the place to do it. This designer shows us a photo of himself and even lets us know how to pronounce his name. He has a very unique name, and so this is probably, so I think that's really clever. It's really playful. Okay, let's talk about contact. This is one of the most important elements because people need to know how to get a hold of you. This is important on a portfolio website, but it's often hidden. Sometimes it's neglected. A potential client has, so let's pretend a potential client's browsed your website. They're super impressed with you and your portfolio, and then they want to see more of who you are and what you can do. So now they're interested in hiring you. You really need to make sure that your contact information is correct. You need to make sure that it's somewhat visible and in a good place. So your contact information should be obvious and easy to access. Don't hide it in the footer. Let people know that they can contact you right away for a quote or a chat session. Use a form to make it easier for users to contact you. And nowadays, there are so many websites or portfolio websites that already have these forms set up for you. So you don't really have to take down an email address or open up an email manager. Everything is here for you. A form also allows you to ask for specific information, such as your name, your email address, website URL, details of inquiry. All these things will be put in this for you, and it kind of organizes it. This designer offers clear contact details throughout his website. So you can see he posts his phone number over and over, but especially in this contact section, he has it very clear, very cleanly laid out. Okay, let's talk about the blog. Now, I don't know how many of you have a blog. I have just started, I've jumped on the blog bandwagon just recently, a couple months ago. Not the best at it. But if you're a professional, a blog is always a good idea. Blog about your area of expertise. Show that you know what you're talking about. It does help promote you and prevent your website from lying static. It keeps things active and always shows that you're current in your posts. Let people follow you by subscribing to an RSS feed and show off your most popular blog posts to new readers. So I know this guy who is a professional freelancer. He owns his own design studio. It's just him. He flies solo, but he not only has a business Facebook page, very different from his personal. He promotes his business Facebook page through his personal Facebook page, but he has a business Facebook page. He has a blog that he constantly makes posts. He has a Twitter account, and he's constantly updating these accounts. And this really helps promote him, and it keeps his website active, and so people see that he's very active on it. So you just want to make sure that you're doing just that. There are plenty of anti-spam plugins available so that you don't get certain spam software, or you don't get targeted by spam. But in this case, in this example, they used their blog about web design related topics to help out other people in the industry, and it helps to engage in discussion. This is how they communicate with the public and get their name out there. Okay, so I don't know if you've heard this term call to action before, but if you've taken an advertising class, you might have heard it. Call to action is what gets people to act. Ask yourself what you want to get out of your personal profile website. Do you want to be hired? And more often than not, the answer to that question is, of course, yes, I do. I want to be hired when I graduate. You want to attract more blog readers. Maybe you just want to know more. Maybe people just want to know more about who you are. And in this case, each page of your profile should have a call to action, a next step, like view recent work. See that button there and that's visual right here? This is a call to action. It's asking them to take action. The best way to accomplish this is a call to action button that's clear, stands out from the rest. So in this case, this one's a blue button, different from the color of text. You can link it to your blog, your portfolio, contact page. You can use appropriate language like hire me, request a quote, or view my profile. In this case, this call to action is using a blue contrasting button that stands out from the rest of the website. So this is a really neat way, a very clean, professional way of driving people to act. And to act on you, to take a chance on you. So use social networking websites. This next step, now that people have an interest in you and your work, you want to encourage them to follow you on other websites. Like I was talking about my friend who owns this design studio. Make it clear that the public can follow you on Twitter, on Facebook, Flickr, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever it is that you do socially on social media. Make sure that you promote it. Make the most of social networks and have a group of friends to call on if needed. So in this case, this designer has several social media accounts, and they use it quite frequently, and this is how they're using social media to promote their business. And a lot of you should be good at social media. I mean, I'm a Facebooker. I don't get into the whole Twitter thing. My husband gets into the Twitter thing, but not so much Facebook. So I guess it depends on the individual. But use the social media platforms to promote yourself. This is a free way to do it, free advertising. Okay, let's talk about web portfolios. How you conduct yourself is very important. We know that. Remember, it's a personal profile website, so you want to be personal. Don't be too wordy or use jargon that people can't understand, but don't be too relaxed and like you're kicking it with someone at home. You want to find that happy middle ground, okay? Don't need to sound like a corporate brand with no emotion. You want to be friendly and personal, but also clear and precise. Don't ramble on. Don't be too casual with your speech, and make sure that you spell check and check your punctuation. If you don't have those two down, then someone will pass you up in a heartbeat. Once you write all your text for your website, I would throw it into Word and have spell checked, read it again, see if you can cut it in half. You want to cut down the wordiness. And in this case, this designer uses a very relaxed and friendly tone on their website. What's up? I'm a graphic designer that aims to create vibrant and detailed designs while keeping the web standards and usability aspects in mind. So I think that's a very good middle ground. It's a very good finding a middle point between personal, casual, and sounding very professional, but not corporate. Okay, web portfolios. Let people know where you're from. This is always interesting to know because some clients prefer to work with people nearby or in the same time zone. So you want to let them know. So I'm from California. I'm on the West Coast, and I do have clients in the East Coast, but sometimes the time zone can be a challenge, and not everyone is comfortable with that. So you do need to let them know where you're from, and if you're comfortable designing for them. Validation is important, especially for web designers. If you're going to be building professional websites for clients, then your own website's code should at least be valid. And you won't really need to know about the code side of things if you're, because we're not in website design. But if you are a web designer or plan on going that route, you definitely need to make sure everything is right and correct. Same thing for your text, your spelling, your grammar, your format. All these, your punctuation, all these things still need to be in line. Even though you're not a writer, you're just a designer, people do judge based off of what they see, and they want to make sure they're hiring a professional, educated person who can cover the details, cross their T's, dot their I's. And if you get to cross your T or add a period or dot your I, then they'll probably not assume that you are very detail-oriented, which might cause you to lose the job. On your portfolio, when a link images, not just text, most people will click on images expecting them to go somewhere. So want to think about that. Keep that in the back of your mind. If you don't have any previous clients for your portfolio, you can create a WordPress theme design or design an icon set. And we won't get too much into that right now. But I did want to point out before we move on, to succeed in the world of graphic design, guys, always exhibit your creativity skills in a very tempting and presentable way, okay? If you are a fresh graduate looking for a job as a graphic designer, the first tip that I can offer you to success is to create a smashing portfolio. I would like to suggest that it's better to have an online portfolio for various reasons. An updated website portfolio is an ideal option for freelance graphic designers like yourselves. There's an old cliche, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And we've heard that phrase before, but nothing is better than an impressive portfolio that can promote you as a brand. And without proper web presence, no one is ever going to know about the hidden potential inside you. So this is why it is so imperative, so important that you do. All right, let me close out of this real quick. See if I can get my other one to go on, okay. So I want to talk about the portfolios real quick. Let me see if I can. The art of graphic design, let's see, let me back up. We'll cover this in just a minute if we have time. So let's talk about the graphic design leave behind. So I'm excited about this next topic because I want to offer some crucial tips, the do's and don'ts of getting hired. And we don't have time to cover dress and grooming, but I think we all understand that a good presentation, clean, tidy appearance, professional looking attire is important. It's key to job interview success. And after all, when we're graduating, we want to emphasize that, okay? I talk about men and women's attire. If we have time, I'll go back and review that. But what I want to talk to you about is the graphic design leave behind. And I don't know if you guys have heard of that before. It's basically a promotional piece for yourself. It's a personal promo piece. The graphic designer leave behind has ironically been left behind in recent years, unfortunately. It's something that is heavily focused on in design school, but it's rarely put into practice in the real world, which is an unfortunate thing. I think that it's a shame because if you made a good impression on your potential client, or on a potential client or an interviewer, the leave behind is such a great opportunity to make that impression last. So when it's done right, leaving something tangible behind will help keep you top of mind, which will increase your chance of landing the job. Now, in this example, these materials were made off lulu.com, so I recommend you going and perusing the site to see what items you can use. So graphic design leave behind can be any object, pens, we'll talk about other things, CD covers, a business card can be a graphic design leave behind. Anything that's tangible that you can let them have when you leave. Now the art of the graphic design leave behind, this one is fairly self-evident. I want to talk about consistent branding in this sense. Being a designer, branding should already be squarely in your wheelhouse. When you're interviewing, your own personal branding is very important because it establishes you as a design professional. Having cohesion between your website, business cards, and your leave behind is not only encouraged, it is expected. So this is why we try to hammer this home a lot. Easy to keep, hard to throw away. What I mean by this is since the whole purpose of your creative leave behind is to stick around long after your interview is over, you want to do everything you can to make sure that the recipient holds on to the object. There are a few simple rules to follow here. First one, you want to make it just the right size so that it's easy for your potential client to keep, or maybe the interviewer, potential employer. Too small and it will get lost. If it's too big, it becomes really obtrusive and annoying, which puts it at risk of going right into the trash can. So generally speaking, the sweet spot would be anywhere from the size of a postcard to slightly smaller than a sheet of standard paper. The second rule is to make it too nice to throw away. You don't want it to be a cheap product, because this will easily go in the trash can as well. This can be achieved in any number of ways, from the design being to quality, or to the construction, to the materials used. If it is impressive enough, chances are that anyone on the receiving end of it will genuinely want to keep it. I'm a fan of pens, doing pens, because that's something everyone uses. They're constantly laying around on the desk. Everyone looks at it. If you can put your logo on it, contact information, people will remember you. It sticks around. That's what I'm a fan of. Here's another graphic design leave behind. It's got a business card. It's a magnet case with words that describe the graphic designer. Right? Now, some designers think that it's enough to hand out merchandise with their logo. I've seen pens, t-shirts, tote bags, you name it. I've seen it all. This type of leave behind, while it may serve a practical purpose for the interviewer, it doesn't really leave much of an impression of you and your work. So you want to think in terms of creativity. You want to be creative about what you leave behind. I suggest always making your leave behind a modified version of your portfolio. It should be a constant reminder of the awesome work that you've produced. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a traditional book-style portfolio, but to not showcase your work and your leave behind is a real missed opportunity here. Here's a link that I recommend looking at so that you can see all the types of ideas that are out there. I did pull a few off to show you some examples. This person designed their CD cover, a clipboard, Let's see, they had their business cards. This is just their branding materials of what they're capable of. Bottom left, this person also did a business card, CD cover, CD label, CD case. The one on the right, however, designed some stationery that I thought was really cool. What a useful thing, and a carry case for the stationery. So this designer left behind something that's practical, but every time this stationery is used, it will remind whoever it was left behind for that this is the designer, and most likely will increase chances of getting hired. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. This is all very expensive. It is expensive. There is a lot that goes in, but Lulu.com is a really affordable website that you can go to. It's a great self-publishing site. The portfolio prints are about 12 bucks each. So these can be left behind with your potential employer. Nowadays, you almost don't need to leave a book behind. You can just leave your website, maybe CD-ROM, but I feel like CD-ROMs are trending out. You could do a flash drive. That's always convenient. But here's where you can print out some materials for pretty cheap. And I don't know if you know Carly Lynn, but she's an excellent artist, and these were some of her demos that she shared. So we've got business cards and her hard copy portfolio. So here are my portfolio tips, okay? I want you to get an expert opinion as you're designing this. It's really hard to be objective about your own work. You want to find someone whose design judgment that you trust, and you can get their feedback. Sometimes a brutally honest critique can be the best thing that happens to you. And I've tried to give creative, well, I guess, constructive feedback on your logo designs, but if ever it ruffles feathers, just know it's coming from someone who knows your potential and knows how to help you improve. Simplify is important. We've been talking about simplicity a lot in this class, how to dumb down your logos. Don't put too much detail in your design. Just because it was your favorite project ever doesn't mean that it should be in your portfolio, okay? Hang on to it, hang it on your wall. You can frame it for your mom. If it's not your strongest work, I would suggest to keep it out of your portfolio, okay? Learning to look at your work critically is essential for a graphic designer. So you need to develop an eye for design. That's why the first half of this class was simply researching logos, researching other designers. You're trying to develop an eye for design. And your portfolio should reflect both your ability to produce high quality design and your ability to discern what qualifies as high quality design. The last one I have on here is put it online. This is crucial. This is, after all, the 21st century. Why not make it easy for prospective employers and clients to view your work? So we want to make it as easy as possible for them. While an online portfolio won't necessarily replace your hard copy, it is a convenient way to get your work out there for people to see. And as I've said, since I've prepared this lesson years ago, things have been trending towards online. Whenever I've I've had some students that have filled out applications before, I've filled out job applications before, and they always require to see an online portfolio. It's just so much easier for the employer to click on a link and they automatically can tell your work, see your work. It's just an instantaneous way for them to see it. Nowadays, you almost don't need to put it on a CD, so I should update this. This is an old slide. But it's kind of cool if you do the design work on the cover and you can showcase your work and give them something to leave behind. Let's see. So we talked about, one last thing. Give something that can be left behind. We've been emphasizing this with your potential employer. I recommend going to lulu.com like you saw. You can get a paperback version of your portfolio printed for very little money that you can bring into an interview. It looks professional. And it will kind of help your chances. So you can say, oh, by the way, go online, my link, or my portfolio is www.whatever.com. And then, by the way, here's my hard copy if you want to see anything. So make sure you keep one for yourself. You can take it to the interview and just leave it, or don't leave it with them, but you can bring it back. You don't want to give away your own copy, but it is nice to come prepared. There are also a lot of sites online that will let you compile free portfolios. One of them is carbonmade.com. I said this earlier. This is the one I use. It's user-friendly and very simple. And I'll copy the link in the chat box so that you can, not the chat box, but I'll pull it up and see if I can share it real quick. Let's see if I can pull up my portfolio. Whoops. Here we go. Okay, so here's this is my second one, but as you can see, there's different images. This is actually my old one. Go back. There's magazine advertisers I've designed for. I've talked to give a little description. Ads I've designed in the past. So, and then billboard designs. So as you can see, it adds something if you can put the billboard design on the object, like the billboard. That way people can get a feel for, kind of, it creates realism. All right, and let me show you the real one, because I guess this one was, I didn't have enough space and I was too cheap to buy. With Carbonmade, it is free to set up a portfolio. However, you're only allowed to upload like 5 images, and then you have to pay for the rest. So I had to create like a collage of things. And so this is magazine portfolio. I kind of had to put all my images in one collage to kind of, you know, these are magazine layouts I've done. And then obviously some ad campaigns that I was in charge of. So there's that, and then this allows me to talk about my marketing and design, restaurants I've designed for, company, corporate branding, kind of cool. This was a lot of fun. T-shirts. There's another one. It's websites, work, brand and design. So, oh yeah, and then car wraps, window wraps, lots of fun stuff. So anyways, this is kind of gives you a feel for what you should be trying to create, coming up with. I kind of had to beat the system because they only allow you like 5 uploads at a time. So I had to kind of make a collage of my work and then upload it as one image. But lots of fun stuff here. Just I wanted to show you what you should be doing is just kind of branding yourself, including all your work in there. And then here's my About Me section. Just a brief about contact information. Oh, probably should. I've got my phone number on there. But anyways, this is just kind of to show you a concept of how one should be laid out. Here is what I really want to show you, because you're probably saying, well, Instructor Woodland, how do I set one up? Where do I go? You keep mentioning these free portfolios that are online. So let me show you. There's a website called freeonlineportfolios.org, and not all free online portfolios are created equal. Some are free, but you have to pay for upgrades. Some are completely free, and all of these have templates through user-friendly. The reason behind why each one is different is because it depends on the industry that you're going in. If you're a photographer, one would probably be more practical than the other. If you're a graphic designer, then you probably want to go with a different one. But what it does is it not only lists each online portfolio, but it gives you a little paragraph here at the bottom, a description about what that website is. And then it says, you want to see a sample portfolio. Whoops, because that one's not working. Let's try this one. You can see a sample portfolio. All right, so this shows you like the layout. Or you can visit the site and it will take you directly to this. So let's talk about ahead.com. This is the workspace for creative minds. This offers a really good layout that comprises a a panel that can be panned using the cursor. It's Flash-based, it's free, you can pay for upgrades, and so on. Behance is one that a lot of people use because it is entirely free. Mainly community-focused, this creative professional platform also offers professional and presentable portfolio. This is by invite only, so you'll probably have to sign up and then they'll email you later on and allow you to get on. But it is totally free. Carbon Made, this is the one that I use. Dirt easy to use. This, like they say, it has soul. It's simple, it's clean, it's very, very fun. It has a very casual way it's a very casual way of that they present themselves. And so Carbon Made also has a huge share of the market, many portfolios and growing. So it is free, but like I said, you can choose to pay for extra features or maybe you'd have more space or more uploads that you'd like. And that is the one I use. A lot of people are gravitating towards Behance, Cargo Collective. This one, again, it's by invite only. The templates are highly customizable, so that's the pro there. This hosts your projects in a variety of templates. It gives you alternatives to standard automated portfolio layouts. So if you want to change it up and kind of be a little different, this would probably be one that would apply to you. It does require you to pay extra for some features or upgrades, but they do have some free templates. DeviantArt, this is a portfolio. This is mostly, this is a customizable portfolio. It's another generic and very functional way of creating an online portfolio. Mostly, I would say photographers use it, but you can definitely use it as a graphic designer. Okay, again, Folio, it's mostly for photographers, but there's nothing in the rule book that says graphic designers can't use it. If you like the layout and the style, let me see if we can get a template up here. Here's a sample. There we go. Photography. So, okay, host my portfolio. This is another one. Even with its limited color palette, Host My Portfolio does have some pretty cool features. You're able to edit your site. You can view it rather than through a dashboard. It's just got some things that you might prefer as a user. It is entirely free, so is Jobberry. Jobberry is kind of cool. I wanted to talk about it. This company not only has cool, fun colors and subtleties within their design, but the template houses your portfolio and resume. So it's kind of a way to also get hired, get noticed. And Shown.com allows for uploads of flash, video, music, and imagery. So if you're a videographer or if you plan on going that route, this might be one that you'd want to keep in mind. Crop also, although it's heavily branded, they're kind of Apple inspired. They have some Apple inspired templates that are really easy to use. It's integrated into the site's primary tools. So this is, and they have a job board. So that's really important. We visit the site here, I can show you. So you can post a job, or they have a creative job board here. They'll probably make you sign up to look at it. Oh no, actually they have a job board here. So this is kind of cool. So crop.com, I haven't been on here in a while, but freelance graphic designer, they have actual full-time, part-time freelance positions. So kind of neat. And you can search, all their jobs are here. So if you want to upload your portfolio on here, we've already got employers already looking, scouring the internet for jobs. So I just wanted to point that out. Job boards are huge and you probably want to go there. Another website, I'm going to take a quick detour here, mediabistro.com. This website also has an incredible job board, and you can find a job or post a job underneath. It's a freelance marketplace. Find a job here. Depending on what your needs are, This too has a job listing, and they're almost always in the graphic design industry or marketing and advertising, but for the most part, it's all creative. Okay, so let's see, editor. If you wanted to be an editor in graphic design, you might have to graphic design. There you go, graphic designer, design assistant. So full-time, part-time, freelance, they have all the posts on here as well. So this is a great job board to go if you want to look for a job, if you're, I guess if you're hiring for a job, but in most cases, all of us are looking to be hired. So this would be an excellent place to go. All right, so let's go back here. So anyways, as you can see, there's all these different websites, online portfolios, and usually in class I give you time to set one up if you want to, but this is something you can do from home. So freeonlineportfolios.org, you can check it out, see which one you want to go with, visit the sites that seem more interesting to you. Again, I use Carbon-Made. I love how user-friendly it is, but again, it limits me a little bit, so I probably want to merge over to something like Behance or another free Post My Portfolio or something, another free site where I can expand. All right, so it looks like we have a little bit of time left. I want to just briefly go over something. Don't forget your daily checkpoints, please. I want to show you the announcements. We have just recently, or I've just recently posted the lecture today, so it's up and running. Hopefully you had a chance to check that out. Please visit the link. If it doesn't work, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. Tonight's lecture will be posted tomorrow morning. It does take a few hours to upload and then a few hours to process. So it's a very long process to get the video up on YouTube for some reason. Not quite sure why it takes so long. So it's not an instantaneous thing, which takes me overnight to do it since our class ends so late. But I will email you guys tomorrow. Just check the announcements. Make sure you're keeping up with these announcements. This is our last week to turn in late work. I hope you got that announcement. Whether it's just discussions are not being accepted, but any week 3 assignments this week are accepted, and obviously the final project needs to be turned in. There is no extension on the final project, so you either do it or you don't. And I really hope you get it in sooner than later. I'm happy to answer any questions for you guys. If you have any questions on your design work, or if you want some feedback, just email it to me. I'm happy to do that. And or the tutoring center or class tutor, Misty Porch. She's actually very, very good to work with, and I just showed you her new hours have been posted, so I'll get that posted under the announcements. I wanted to talk to you briefly about the reflection. We don't have a discussion this week, but we do have a reflection, and I'm not sure if you guys have taken some time to do this, but this is an opportunity to reflect on how this course worked for you. What was your experience? What are some things that you think you're going to be able to take away? What are some things that you learned that you didn't know before? And how is this going to help you moving forward? Anything along those lines, you're welcome to post. It's not for a grade, but it definitely gives all the instructors, the ADs, some insight in how this class was structured and how it helps you. Unfortunately, I have no control over the assignments or how it's structured, just what I teach and what I cover in lecture. So please, if you have any feedback on that, that's also welcomed. Again, it's not for a grade, but I love to hear from my students. It definitely helps me improve. So if you get me later on, this is a good way to do it. All right, and then just wanted to remind you, the only assignment this week is our final project. So if you're all caught up, then you only have one assignment. I'm gonna jump back into Illustrator while we have a few minutes. Right here. And I wanted to go over one more horizontal and vertical logo, okay? Let's do the laughing giraffe. So I'm going to go to File, New, I'm going to create, I think we talked about 10 artboards. Actually, I'll do 11 artboards. Hit OK. So these are all sized. I'm going to go to my artboard tool. And I'm going to go up here. I'm going to select my last one. I'm going to go to, I want 3.5 inches. Don't forget to type inches by 2 inches. And this one here is going to be the same. Three and a half inches by 2 inches. And this will be my business card. So those are my business cards. And then I'm going to grab my logo. This is where I'm going to do my horizontal logo. I'm going to go to type, create outline, so it's easier to resize. Okay, so here's my horizontal color logo. And now I need a black and white logo, so I'm going to highlight everything. I'm going to move this down because I need the color version. I'm going to create a vertical logo. Okay, so that's my vertical. Now I'm going to copy over this one. And I'm going to copy over this one. And here's where I convert it all to black and white. All my little pieces. Now, I could choose to turn this orange lettering, my orange text, into white, but you're not going to be able to see it. So that's probably what I'd wind up doing, but you won't be able to see it. So in this case, I'll just turn it to black so that we can't see it. There we go. Laughing giraffe. Okay. Same with this one. Grab this icon. Since it's already resized, and again, I'm going to change this text all to black. All right, so there's my, kind of looks like Chick-fil-A, now that I think of it. Anyways, okay, so there's my vertical layout. So hopefully that answers your question about what's expected on the horizontal black and white. Let's do the business card real quick. Here's another business card layout option right here that I can go over with you. Let me go to my this one. And if you need to get closer, just zoom in. Just like this. I'm going to post this. I'm actually going to get rid of the black background. Oops. And I'm going to get this text here. And I'm going to grab my logo. I'm basically going to center it right on my back of my business card. I'm going to make sure there's even space on the top and on the bottom, using my smart guides to center me, to line me up. Another thing that I can do is this. I like doing watermarks. I think they're kind of cool. And then grab your text, bring it to the front. Okay, so that's an option. I kind of like these spots. I'm going to move them over. Oops. You know, kind of giraffe looking spots. You can even just do those spots all around. Might prefer that. Again, you'll just have to play with placement. See what would fit best for you. And then I'll go ahead and grab my icon. So the idea here with the back of a business card when you're designing is you definitely want the logo to be big and on the back. That's kind of the goal. You want white space. You don't want too much design to get in the way. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is make a clipping mask. I'm going to grab a rectangle, draw over, take off the stroke, take off the fill, no stroke, no fill, highlight everything, and right click and select clipping mask. And what that does is it constrains everything inside, okay? Then with this, I think I'm going to go with the orange. Oops. And this is going to be black. Oops. And then this here at the bottom will be orange too. Okay, so this is another way, interesting way to do it, or carry over these spots. Sometimes I like to carry over my design. Just so it kind of creates some uniformity. I'm going to make that clipping mask again. I drew my rectangle, highlight everything, make clipping mask, grab my rectangle. Oh, whoops. Oh well. We remembered what it looked like. Okay, so then there's another set of business cards. I've got my logos. It looks like we don't have time for me to move forward on the Facebook covers, but hopefully you guys get the idea. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. It's been great. I've had a great time teaching you guys. It's been a fun class. I really appreciate it. Appreciate your participation today and throughout the course, really. You guys all have been so wonderful to teach, and I can tell that so many of you are improving already. You all are extremely talented designers, and you've progressed in such little time. So be proud of your work. Try to showcase it the best you can in this final project. Remember, if you have any trouble, don't get discouraged. You can contact me. I'm happy to help. Please use this recording to help step you through the final project, and to remember to check the announcements on the course homepage for any information, and then as well as watch the video for design application on what we just did today, creating a website layout and how to design your final project. So I will talk to you guys later. Good luck with everything, and hopefully I'll have you in another class. Good luck, everyone.